To continue from the Suriy-i-Haykal, pages 19 to 22. Say, O people, this is the hand of God, which hath ever been above your own hands, could ye but understand. Within its grasp we have ordained all the good of the heavens and the earth, such that no good shall be made manifest but that it proceedeth therefrom. Thus have we made it the source and treasury of all good, both aforetime and hereafter. Say, the rivers of divine wisdom and utterance which flowed through the tablets of God are joined to this most great ocean, could ye but perceive it, and whatever hath been set forth in his books hath attained its final consummation in this most exalted word, a word shining above the horizon of the will of the All-Glorious in this revelation, which hath filled with delight all things seen and unseen. Ere long shall God draw forth out of the bosom of power the hands of ascendancy and might, and shall raise up a people who will arise to win victory for this youth, and who will purge mankind from the defilement of the outcast and the ungodly. These hands will gird up their loins to champion the faith of God, and will, in my name, the self-subsistent, the mighty, subdue the peoples and kindreds of the earth. They will enter the cities, and will inspire with fear the hearts of all their inhabitants. Such are the evidences of the might of God. How fearful, how vehement is his might, and how justly doth he wield it. He verily ruleth and transcendeth all who are in the heavens and on the earth, and revealeth what he desireth according to a prescribed measure. Should any one of them be called upon to confront all the hosts of creation, he would assuredly prevail through the ascendancy of my will. This verily is a proof of my power, though my creatures comprehend it not. This verily is a sign of my sovereignty, though my subjects understand it not. This verily is a token of my command, though my servants perceive it not. This verily is an evidence of mine ascendancy, though none amongst the people is truly thankful for it, save those whose eyes God hath illumined with the light of his knowledge, whose hearts he hath made the repository of his revelation, and upon whose shoulders he hath placed the weight of his cause. These shall inhale the fragrances of the All-Merciful from the garment of his name, and shall rejoice at all times in the signs and verses of their Lord. As for those who disbelieve in God and join partners with him, they shall indeed incur his wrath, shall be cast into the fire, and shall be made to dwell, fearful and dismayed in its depths. Thus do we expound our verses and make plain the truth with clear proofs, that perchance the people may reflect upon the signs of their Lord. So that's pretty heavy. And it's reminiscent, too, of the Old Testament, right? Fire and brimstone. But I have to say that this fire that is talked about in these holy books, I believe that this fire is the fire of regret. I believe that when people begin to see the truth, which we can't see the truth We can't see that because only God is the truth. But we can progress along the path of understanding truth. And truth is revealed by these manifestations of God. They're the ones that understand what truth is. And they're trying to tell us. And we either brush it aside and decide to ignore it, or we decide to try to understand. But as we progress in the path of truth, by living our own truth to the best of our ability, we begin to see how we have let ourselves and others down. All of us. And as we see that, we experience regret. And the fires of regret are the hottest fires. And sometimes, when we really look at what we've done and what we neglected to do, it can take years to unpack that. And I think that's what he's saying. He's basically saying the manifestation of God brings us the teachings of God. And if we choose to ignore those teachings, we will reap the results of our choices and be cast into the fire of regret. And to me, that's what purgatory is. And purgatory is on this earth, and it's after we leave this earth. And so is hell. And so is heaven. We've all experienced hell, heaven, and purgatory right here. And we're going to continue to experience that when our bodies disintegrate, until our souls have been purified. Which means to me, until we really realize the impact of our actions on others and on ourselves. And that's a long process sometimes, because there's different levels of it. So let me continue. Oh, are there any questions or comments?
I hear in what you're saying that regret can be redeeming, because dwelling in regret can teach you a lesson about the way that you would treat others, and the way that God causes a reaction to give you a message about the way you treat others. And we can experience that as the fires of hell, being in trouble. And also, I think part of the reason that God sent Charlie into my life is so that I would know that an inferno in the very center is freezing. Because if I dwell in the past too much, then you're frozen. So, like all spiritual truth, there's a paradox to it.
I think that it's not so much that God sends repercussions.
That's true.
It's built into the system that things work a particular way.
Right.
What goes around comes around. It's just part of reality. I think God has created reality.
Yes.
And that isn't to say that there isn't intervention, because I do believe that sometimes there is intervention. I feel like I've experienced that.
Definitely.
But it's not like God punishes us because we did this bad thing. It's like the repercussions of the bad thing that we did, and by bad I mean choosing ourselves and our emotions and our desires above what's best for everyone. That's what I think bad is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just to add to that, I would say that you're absolutely right. Like, the repercussion is in the act.
Yes.
And so, in India, the idea is that Lord Vishnu is the causeless cause. Lord Vishnu is the only cause. That God is the only cause. And there's no repercussion. It's just the cause without cause.
Sometimes the things you say, Shoshone, are so mysterious.
It's from the Bhagavad Purana, if you want to hear more about that. You can bring that up in your yoga class. Causeless cause.
Yeah, I mean, that, I would think that would be God, the causeless cause.
Yeah.
But I can't say that I understand it.
I can't say that I understand.
Let's continue. O living temple, we have in very truth appointed thee to be the sign of my majesty, amidst all that hath been and all that shall be, and have ordained thee to be the emblem of my cause betwixt the heavens and the earth, through my word be, and it is. O first letter of this temple, betokening the essence of divinity, we have made thee the treasury of my will and the repository of my purpose unto all who are in the kingdoms of revelation and creation. This is but a token of the grace of him who is the help in peril, the self-subsisting. So there's a note here about this, O first letter of this temple. Let's see what the note says. The word Haykal, temple, is composed in Arabic of the four letters Ha, Ya, Kaf, and Lam. Its first letter is taken to symbolize the word Huviya, essence of divinity. Its second letter, the word Qadir, almighty, of which Ya is the third letter. Its third letter, the word Kareem, all bountiful, and its fourth letter, the word Fazl, grace, of which Lam is the third letter. So, I'm not capable of unpacking all of this. The only thing that I can say is that in Arabic and Persian, I'm guessing that this was revealed in Arabic, but sometimes Baha'u'lláh reveals things in both Arabic and Persian and switches between them. Okay, it said Arabic, yeah. So this is Arabic. There's a vast system of mystical connection between letters and numbers and words that we don't have in the English language. And I think it's one of the things that makes Arabic so incredibly rich. But I don't have knowledge of this. I just have a little bit from having basically meditated on some of these things, but not enough to be able to talk about it. So I'm going to go on.
In Hebrew, they call it gematria.
They call it what?
Gematria.
Gematria in Hebrew?
Yeah.
This system of letters and numbers and so forth?
Yeah, so every Hebrew letter has a number associated with it, so every name has a number.
Mm-hmm.
So your name has a number that corresponds to other names that add up to that number.
Right, and this is the same in Arabic. O second letter of this temple, betokening my name, the Almighty. We have made thee the manifestation of our sovereignty in the day spring of our names. Potent am I to fulfill that which my tongue speaketh. Okay, so I do want to say that this living temple is Bahá'u'lláh. And these letters of the temple are what I think they're aspects of that which God hath bestowed upon Bahá'u'lláh. So he said, O living temple, we have in very truth appointed thee to be the sign of my majesty amidst all that hath been and all that shall be, and have ordained thee to be the emblem of my cause betwixt the heavens and the earth through my word be, and it is. So Bahá'u'lláh is the manifestation of God for today. Bahá'u'lláh is ushering in the most great peace. Baha'u'llah's teachings for humanity are for us to put into practice to midwife this process of the coming of age of humanity. And this is a proclamation. And then he's, to me, then with the different letters, going through the different letters, he's talking about different aspects of Baha'u'llah's ascendancy. So the first letter betokens the essence of divinity. Baha'u'lláh is the treasury of the will of God, the repository of his purpose unto all who are in the kingdoms of revelation and creation. The second letter betokeneth my name, the Almighty. So Baha'u'lláh is the manifestation of the sovereignty of God and the source of the names of God. And it says, potent am I to fulfill that which my tongue speaketh. So this is a very challenging tablet because it's moving between, it seems to be moving between the voice of God and the reality of Baha'u'lláh as the symbol of God on earth. And it's a mystical intercourse here. So in the same paragraph, Baha'u'lláh is speaking with the Word of God, and he's also speaking from himself as the representative of God. So, as the voice of God. So, I find it to be very interesting. You can't separate it and say, okay, this is Baha'u'llah's voice, this is God's voice. It's not like that. It's weaving in and out. Let's go on. O third letter of this temple, betokening my name, the All-Bountiful. So now we're going to talk about the aspect of God that is the All-Bountiful. We have made thee the dawning place of our bounty amidst our creatures, and the fountainhead of our generosity amidst our people. Powerful am I in my dominion. Nothing whatsoever of all that hath been created in the heavens or on the earth can escape my knowledge, and I am the true one, the knower of things unseen. So to me, of course that's God, but it's also Baha'u'lláh. We can't understand the reality of the manifestation of God. It's totally beyond us. It's a different reality. It's human form, but it's a different reality. This is not something we can attain to. This is something that is. O pen, and that's one of the ways in which Baha'u'lláh is designated as the pen of God, because he wrote over 100 volumes. Send down out of the clouds of thy generosity that which shall enrich all created things, and withhold not thy favors from the world of being. Okay, I'm going to switch sides because of the light here.
Turn this off.
No, we need the light. Thou verily art the all-bountiful in the heaven of thine eternity, and the Lord of infinite grace unto all who inhabit the kingdom of names. So the kingdom of names, that's here. We have names. We designate everything by names, and that creates separation. But it also, we know from the book of Genesis that this kingdom of names is ordained by God. So it's a double-edged sword. Look not upon the people and the things they possess. Look rather upon the wonders of thy gifts and favors. So when he says possess, he's not just talking about material things. He's also talking about opinions and knowledge, which of course is limited, right? What are all these pop-ups on these hearts?
That means people are watching.
Oh, that's nice. I'm glad you're watching.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Okay. Gather them, thy servants, beneath thy shade, that shadoweth all mankind. Stretch forth the hand of bounty over all creation, and the fingers of bestowal over all existence. This verily is that which beseemeth thee, though the people understand it not. So that makes me want to say, read these things for yourself. Meditate on them. Read them slowly. Stop and just think about it. Ask questions in your heart to understand. This is so powerful. It's so beautiful. Don't deprive yourself. Whosoever turneth his face towards thee doeth so by thy grace. And as to him who turneth away, thy Lord in truth is independent of all created things. Unto this bear witness his true and devoted servants. Ere long shall God raise up through thee those with hands of indomitable strength and arms of invincible might, who will come forth from behind the veils, will render the all-merciful victorious amongst the peoples of the world, and will raise so mighty a cry as to cause all hearts to tremble with fear. Thus hath it been decreed in a written tablet. Such shall be the ascendancy which these souls will evince, that consternation and dismay will seize all the dwellers of the earth. Why? Why? Why will consternation and dismay seize all the dwellers of the earth? Because Bahá'u'lláh has brought a message to bring humanity into an age of equality, justice, and peace. Why will people be afraid? I think it's because we're going to have to give up the things we're so attached to. We're going to have to give up our opinions, our dearly held opinions. We're going to have to give up being right. Oh my God. We're going to have to give up our attachment to who we think we are. And realize we're not anybody. We're just one people. We're going to have to give up our sense of being better than others or being worse than others. We're going to have to give up our addictions. Oh my God. And everything can be addictive. We're going to have to wake up and stop ignoring what's right in front of us. Baha'u'lláh is truly challenging the entire human race to move forward, because this is the age of the oneness of the human family, and we better get on board.